Hey folks, Pokemon Master Ricky here with you guys, aka Fox Sounder N313. You often hear people talk about DLC done right. What is DLC done right? Everybody has different opinions. Some say it's about the content, others say it's the price of the DLC. I define it a little bit differently. Now, let me give you an example of DLC done right. Mario Kart 8. The reason it's done right is not because of the pricing, though it is pretty inexpensive. It's not because of the content, though you do get a good amount of content for what you pay. It's because the game will not have a sequel until the next generation of consoles. Until the Nintendo NX or until the new Nintendo Portable comes along. There won't be another Mario Kart for a while. That's basically what I'm saying. So for this generation, there's only going to be that one Mario Kart game. Therefore, doing DLC for that game is okay because you're supplying content to a game that won't have a successor for a while. Now, if we look at a game like Call of Duty, that's an example of DLC being done horribly wrong. A game where, or a series where you have a follow-up every year, usually in the same quarter, usually in the same month. There's no major differences between the releases other than aesthetically. One game will be set in the Cold War, another will be set in the future, whatever. But at its core, they're the same games with the same gameplay and the same online multiplayer. Why does these games need to have $15 map packs or how much ever they cost? Why do they need map packs when you're just going to trade it in the following year for the next game? That is DLC done wrong. Now, if Call of Duty, this is a way that they should do it. You know, people only really buy Call of Duty for the online multiplayer. There's a certain percentage, a very small percentage, that buy it for the single player, and and a larger percentage for the zombie mode. But even that, most people are playing it online. But people are mainly buying it for the online multiplayer. So why not just release a game, a Call of Duty game, at the beginning of a new console span and support that game with DLC? Don't follow it up with a sequel the next year or the year after or anytime during this console period or this console cycle. Instead, you wait till the next console cycle to release a full new game and release it with all the maps that was in the previous title and come up with some brand new ones. Because I think I've heard, I don't follow Call of Duty that closely, but I seem to remember hearing somewhere that some of the maps were from previous games. But I don't know. I don't have evidence or facts to back that up. That's just what I've heard. But that's the way that it should be done. That's the way these other games should do. I'm not trying to just single out Call of Duty here. You can use the sports games as an example. You have, you know, a new NBA or a new NFL that comes out every year with some roster updates. Stuff like that could be done via updates through or patches to the game. There's no need to release a full brand new game at $60 for something like that. It's unnecessary. But that's the way these games should be done. Is release one at the start of the generation, fix whatever problems it may have through updates, and then add new content through DLC. You have something like Star Wars Battlefront, which I think most of us can assume that there's going to be a sequel at some point. And yet, they stick 4 maps in the game. They're going to give you a free one in December, but they stick 4 maps in the full package for $60, and then you'll have to pay an additional $50+ to get the rest of the content, which is pathetic. A game like that shouldn't have that much DLC, nor should it cost that much. But that's the way DLC should be done. Smash Brothers is another example, and I know I'm just talking about Nintendo games here, but you know, they're honestly really one of the few, you know, Nintendo's one of the few companies that's doing it right, maybe one of the only ones. These are the only ones I can point to that are doing it right. And look, even they've screwed up to an extent. They announced DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I think is the name of the new one, the Wii U one. They announced DLC for that before the game even came out. I don't like when developers do that. That's what most of them do these days. They used to cover up the fact that they had DLC planned by uh, waiting until after the launch of the game and then saying, "Oh, we're going to do DLC for it." Now they're just being blatant about it and saying, "Oh, we're going to do it after the game comes out or whatever." But at least with Xenoblade, you're getting a lot of content packed into the game, but it still doesn't get a pass. It should have been in the game, or it should have been saved for the sequel. But that's how DLC should be done, though, is the way Smash Brothers does it, the way Mario Kart 8 does it. You release one game on the console, and you support that game with content. You take your time, you make the game good, you give plenty of content in the $60 package, the first package you're paying for, then you add more content to it later down the road. Not like 2 weeks after the game comes out. No, that's not the way to do it. I want to see developers do it right. They're abusing it. And it really comes down to, I think, someone tried to maybe say that it's because of used game sales. They're trying to make back money that they're losing through used game sales. You know what? Here's an idea. If you're going to release this much DLC, and it's really about punishing people buying the games used, don't punish all of us. Here's what you do. You include a code with the game. And I'm sure others have proposed this. You can include a code in the game, the full retail package. If you buy the game new, you input the code on the whatever network service your console supports. And when the DLC is released, people who bought it new and entered the code get the DLC for free. That's the way it should work. If you paid $60, you should get all the content. And those who bought the game secondhand don't get the code, and they have to pay for it. And that way you can make that money back that way. But don't punish everyone else for it if that's really what it's all about. If it's really about the money you're losing through used game sales, then that's the way it needs to be done. And I question how much they actually lose through used game sales. I remember David Cage, the creator of Heavy Rain, a couple of years after Heavy Rain came out, he talked about the sales of the game and how they lost 5 or 6 million or something like that. I forgot what number he gave, is some made-up number of sales that they lost because of used game sales. It couldn't be just because nobody liked the game and nobody wanted to play an interactive movie. No. It was because of used game sales. I don't think so. There are a large percentage of people who do buy their games used, but I think their numbers are maybe a little inflated. I think a lot of times people just don't want to buy their games because a lot of times they're broken at launch, or half the content's missing, or more than half the content is missing in the case of Star Wars Battlefront. But that's just my 2 cents. Thanks for listening, folks. Remember to subscribe to us, leave a comment below, hit the like button, spread the word, tell your friends about us. I'll catch you next time. God bless.